This is the Horse Radio Network.
This is episode 374 of the Stable Scoop Radio Show. Virtual stars and Nikki, too. Please support our sponsors as they make this show possible.
Our sponsors this week are Total Saddle Fit, EasySignsOnline.com, Sparkle and Boom, and listeners like you. Well, this week we learned about the Virtual Horse Stars Hall of Fame and a listener highlight with Nikki Lambert of New Jersey. Plus, Tack and Habit gets all lit up with the Lucci lamps. Listen in.
Welcome to the Stable Scoop, with weekly shows delivered right to you. With Helena and Glenn the Geek, live from the stable, it's every week. They bring you the news through hail or high water, while using their tails as their own fly swatters. So sit on down and laugh till you poop, cause it's time again for Stable Scoop. Stable Scoop. Stable Scoop. Stable Scoop.
This is Glenn the Geek.
And this is Helena B. And you're listening to the Stable Scoop Radio Show on the Horse Radio Network.
Well, howdy, Helena.
Howdy, Glenn. How are you this week?
All right. Before we get to our guests, we have some fun guests coming up, including listener highlights, which is one of my favorite parts of the show. You posted a video, and we don't often talk about negative things here on the show, but I kind of think this one's important. You posted a video, and just tell everybody what you did and why you did it, and then we'll talk about the reaction.
So, my social media news feed is pretty much filled with all kinds of horses all the time. So I see a lot of stuff. I see a lot of bad stuff and I see a lot of good stuff. Well, this particular video was shared by a rescue group who is actually pretty sane. Most of them are, but it was posted in a very neutral way. And it's a video of a Western pleasure class, and the horses are loping. And they're doing a modern version of the Western pleasure lope. Now, I'm not a Western rider. I've never showed Western pleasure, so I was very intrigued. I did, however, lease a horse once who was started as a Western pleasure show horse. He was a 5-year-old quarter horse, and I remember trying to get him to canter, and he did this funny thing, and I could not figure out what this poor horse was trying to do. And when I took a look at this video, it was something that was very similar to the gait that we see in the video. And of course, light bulbs went off in my head. So I decided and the comments on the video were all very negative.
This is a Western pleasure class where they're doing, I don't even know what the hell you call that gait.
It's a lope.
It is a lope, but it's kind of, the horses all look just lame. I mean, they just look lame is the way they look when they do this exaggerated lope. And I haven't seen one of these classes in years. We used to go to Harrisburg, and we used to watch the classes there at the farm show, and occasionally would see the Western pleasure, but they weren't like this. And judging by you got more comments on this than we've had on any post on the Stable Scoop page in years. I mean, it just, and not one person defending it, and a lot of people who left the Western world and Western pleasure showing because of this. I was surprised at that, weren't you? The number of people who said that?
I was surprised. I thought there would be somebody, I put it out there in kind of a neutral way to see if that perhaps there is someone who's competing in these classes now and had a reason for why this gait is so exaggerated and so unnatural looking. I hoped.
Well, you know what? If you want to come on and talk about it, we'll have you on. I mean, if you want to contact us and you know the reasons why it ended up this way and want to come on and talk about it or defend it or whatever, we'll listen. That's what we're here for.
We will listen. We definitely will listen. I think probably the most the most simply but clearly articulated comment about this is, quote, "What the heck is that?" End quote. I think people
agree.
are just stunned and
confused. Most of the people said it looks like they're a bunch of lame horses, and that's kind of is what it looks like. If somebody saw this that didn't know a thing about horses, they would be totally disgusted by watching this.
Yeah.
And Helena and I don't always agree on everything. We don't agree on the carriage issue in New York. We don't agree on a lot of different things. We probably don't agree on anything politically, but we get along. So we're willing to, if somebody can explain this and there's a reasonable explanation for it, we'll have you on. But boy, I can't find one right now. I think it gets to the point. Jennifer kind of explained it today. We were talking about this when you posted this video. It wasn't this way years ago. And what happens is once you've mastered a class like this, where the lope is the lope and they all start looking alike, then somebody has to stand out, right? So they take it to the next step and they take it to the next step. And
by doing something different.
And then it ends up looking like this, but it's the judging that fixes it. As soon as the judging starts to come around and go, okay, this is getting ridiculous. We need to go back. We need to step back here. Then it changes. But until the judging changes, this is not going to change.
I think it's the discussion about this is much broader than a Western pleasure class. I think it's more about what motivates show riders and trainers in general, whether it's a Western pleasure class or, a modified adult equitation, whatever it is, it's everybody looks the same. And you very gradually start to change things in the ring. And even the judges don't realize that they're judging, the way they're judging is rewarding these changes, these subtle changes, until one day we all wake up and we go, holy cow, we've created this. We're chasing these ribbons. We're chasing the win instead of chasing the journey to get there. So I think there's a much bigger discussion. This is the result. I think what we're seeing here, these horses who look like zombies, as one commenter called them, or they look lame. I think this is the result of us not. And I say us because as horse people, we are all responsible for this happening in our world. Because if you see something like this and you don't speak up, even in a firm but gentle way, then I think that makes us all sort of responsible for this happening.
And I will tell you that we will try and get somebody on or a couple people on. We'll try and get a little bit of a round table going, and we'll get some people on who are in this world and maybe one of the judges. And let's find out how it got to this point, and maybe they're going to defend it, and that's fine. But let's hear about it. I'd love to hear, because we look at this and go, how the hell did this happen? But there's a reason it happened over the time, and I don't know. The thing that concerns me is what kind of training do you have to do to get to this point where they're at this point. And, we talk about the big lick people all the time. Obviously, the training they do, in our opinion, is just terrible. So I just want to be assured that the training they're using to get to this point isn't terrible. And there, every discipline has problems. We understand that. And, we're not here to police those problems. That's not our job here at Stable Scoop. And you guys know that very seldom do we ever discuss anything serious. We just like to have a good time. But when we see, it's what Helena said, when we see things like this, we kind of have to bring it up, or we're part of the problem. So, well said, Helena. Good on you.
Good on me.
Good on you. And that's enough of that serious stuff. Let's go on. There's somebody, and this is a perfect transition, because there's somebody out, the next person we're going to talk to is part of a group that's really trying to do something good and, highlight the good in the horse world and the stars, that are out there that are doing wonderful things, the humanitarian stuff. So I think that's a perfect transition to go to Shannon Coakley of the Equus Foundation with their new initiative called the Virtual Horse Stars Hall of Fame. Well, hi, Shannon. Welcome back to the show. You were just here a couple weeks ago.
Yes, thank you for having us back. We're so glad to be here.
Well, I saw a press release go out on something called the Virtual Horse Stars Hall of Fame, and this really cool website, so I want you to tell us about it.
Yes, so our Horse Stars Hall of Fame program was actually established in 2013, but we have an exciting announcement today and kind of an update on what we call our Learn More About Horses, which is a very simple kind of way to explain a one place to have, and learn all you want about horses and kind of have access to all those resources all in one place. So the Horse Stars Hall of Fame, like I said, was established in 2013, and it's a joint program that we do with us at the Equus Foundation as well as the United States Equestrian Foundation, USEF, and it really helps us articulate, our message and our belief that horses are extraordinary, both as athletes and as humanitarians. So it's our chance and our ability to share the wonderful stories of both the athletic and humanitarian accomplishments of these incredible horses and really honor and celebrate them. So it's a really great program that we really love.
Well, and I like it too when you go into it. We're always talking about getting more kids involved with horses, right? That we need to do that if these sports are going to, all of the disciplines are going to continue, and if horse sports are going to continue. And this really is kind of geared toward adults, but kids too. So I like the fact that it's simple. There's actually some games that can be played on there, and the who's in sports. I like that one. And get ready to ride, find out where, when, and how to ride. So I kind of see the influence here of the USEF in this. I like it. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not just the sports side as you're seeing there. It's also celebrating these incredible humanitarians of horses that are really inspirational and have a life-changing impact on people, all different types of people, including children and adults. And it really helps us spread our message and build more awareness and educate the public more about the impact and wonderful positive impact of horses on people's lives and the bond between horses and people. Anyone who's, had a relationship with a horse will know that it's a very, very special bond there. So this is our chance to kind of share those stories. And like you were saying, it's really an interactive site to
Well, I want to talk about the site for a minute because I'm actually I was on the homepage, and there's this graphic. It opens up with this graphic that you're not quite sure what it is, but I clicked on the little link that said, so there's two types of nominees, either the athletic or the humanitarian. So I clicked on the humanitarian, and the graphic changes to an aisleway, and along the left and right side of the aisleway are these banners with the horses, with the horse nominees' names on them. And I got choked up. I started to tear up because, the first banner is Betsy and the next banner is Coco. And it becomes very clear that these are horses who have very different accomplishments than the ones who usually get all the fame. Mm-hmm. And it immediately becomes clear. And then you look down the aisleway at how many there are. And then, of course, you can click on each banner and you find out more about each horse. But it's a very simple but very powerful visual. And it's worth clicking on those banners. This is just so well done. I'm really impressed.
Well, thank you. We're really happy to be able to share it with everyone. And, you were mentioning Betsy. I mean, Betsy's one of my favorites. There's, a really great story about how Betsy this horse changed the life of this autistic boy named Rowan that was featured in a movie.
Yep, that's right. We had him on.
We had him on the show. Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah. And I'm not sure if you all are aware of Klinger, who is this, world-renowned caisson horse that has really just served, so many people and touched the lives of so many people throughout the years. And so there's a lot of great horses to check out there, and
there's a lot of therapeutic wonderful horses here. There's just all different kinds. This isn't just he won the Olympics. This is a whole different kind of thing, and I like that about this. And by the way, I agree. But what Helene and I are both, I'm a little bit. She's a lot web designer, and this is really cool. It's like
it's a nice way to introduce these horses.
Now, let me go over to athletes and do that side. So, what do you have on the athlete side then?
So every year, the USEF selects their horses of honor, and they are across all the different disciplines under the federation, and they are then inducted into the Horse Stars Hall of Fame as the athletes for that year. So you'll see, show jumpers to eventers to dressage horses, very, Olympic champions, critically acclaimed and all that sort of thing. And it's really great to hear their stories as well because they're incredible athletes.
Here's a little dressage horse named Bertina that everybody would know.
Yeah.
So Bertina, I'm just looking through the list here, and it's done the same way. It's really cool.
Yeah. So if we go back to the kind of the beginning of the page here, and you go to the center, that's really the new part of the site that we really want to announce today, and that's to learn more about horses. And that's what you were saying before, Glenn, about kids can play horse games and different activities and things like that. You can learn, if you really want to actually start riding, the resources to find places near you and that sort of thing, or learn about, the anatomy of a horse. It really runs the gamut of all different resources there. And it's just really it's all in one place, which has never really been done before. It's all these resources are, out there, but this gives us, our visitors the ability to access them all in one place and learn more about.
I want to play the game
horses.
called Scoop the Poop. No, I
Yes,
don't.
that's
Wait a
a
minute,
great
I
one.
don't. I
No.
do it every day here at the farm. I don't want to play
Oh,
that
yeah.
game anymore.
Yeah, it might be a little
Think
too
about it.
real.
Yeah.
But yeah, you might see that there's a little radio network on there, the Horse Radio
Where?
Network.
Where are we?
Well, if you go to Horse Resources,
Yeah.
you will see number 2 there
Oh,
is the
look
Horse
at
Radio
that.
Network. Yes.
I didn't even know we were on here.
We are.
This
so
was not a
honored to
setup.
have you guys
I
on
really
there.
didn't know. That's terrific. Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely.
Well, people
So-
can learn here. When they listen to some of the other shows that Helena and I aren't on, they'll learn something. I'm just kidding,
Oh,
Helena.
wonderful.
Hopefully, I hope so.
This is great.
This is wonderful.
It's horse.
But yeah, I was talking about the Get Ready to Ride a little earlier, and you'll see under there the Time to Ride program, which is part of the American Horse Council.
Yeah, that's right.
And that's really, as you were saying earlier, Glenn, about engaging the next generation and in getting more children and kids involved in horses. And that's really what this is all about, and getting our youth enthusiastic and excited about riding, or just having a relationship with a horse and understanding that. So it's a really cool resource as well to check out.
What's the website again?
It's called Time to Ride. It's under the Get Ready to Ride.
No, I
link
meant
there.
the website for the whole thing.
Oh, yes, of course. It's the HorsestarsHallOfFame.org. So you can check us out. And if you want to go to our website, the Equus Foundation, you can go to equusfoundation.org and you can access it that way as well. But there's a lot of great resources, and we're really excited about it.
Thank you, Shannon.
Great. Thank you so much.
This tip was brought to you by Total Saddle Fit, the shoulder relief girth that Reese and Philip both love. And here's why.
The saddle fit solution you have been waiting for is finally here. TotalSaddleFit.com is proud to introduce the Shoulder Relief Girth. This strategically shaped girth actually moves the girth line of your saddle back over 1 inch, thereby freeing your horse's shoulders from the saddle. Traditional girths pull saddles up against a horse's shoulders and often over the top of the shoulders. The shoulder relief girth's recessed ends allow for the billets to buckle into the girth farther back to give your horse unparalleled freedom of motion. We are so certain that your saddle will fit better and your horse will be more comfortable that for a limited time we are offering a 30-day, 110% money-back guarantee. If you are not totally satisfied with your shoulder relief girth, send it back for a full refund plus 10% of the purchase price. Don't wait. Order now for the best saddle fit solution available.
At TotalSaddleFit.com. Visit TotalSaddleFit.com.
Up next, we have Nikki Lambert, one of our favorite, we're not allowed to say that. I was going to say our favorite listeners and one of our auditors. It's like having kids. You can't call one of them.
That's right. You can't pick out favorites.
Well, at least not in public. You can tell them secretly, but But no, Nikki's been around and she's been following the Horse Radio Network for a very long time. And she's such a warm and enthusiastic, energetic part of our community. So I am really happy to welcome Nikki to the Stable Scoop Show.
Oh, thank you so much.
So what's happening, girl? You are you're nicely nestled in one of my favorite parts of the Northeast, which is New Jersey. And I know everybody's laughing, but there are some really awesome places in New Jersey, and Nikki happens to be in one of them. Tell us a little bit about your horse life. What do you do with horses in New Jersey?
Sure. Well, my horse is actually boarded at the stable because it's about an hour away from me. It's not close by. I board and train with Vicky Rickabaugh at Blue Spruce Stable, Blue Spruce Dressage. I do dressage riding primarily, and started to do that about 8 years ago. I used to do hunter jumpers, and then somebody got me addicted to fox hunting, so I've been doing that for the last 3 years as well.
Who got you addicted to that?
Helena and Sissy.
I wonder. So you're having a good time out hunting, are you?
I'm having a blast. In fact, I'm going to the opening in the next couple of weeks again for my third year of coming for an opening day. And I did my first hunter pace last weekend. So,
how much fun are those?
I got the bug. Oh my God, it was so much fun.
They're a little less fast and furious than hunting. Now, you ride out with Monmouth?
Yes.
Okay. So, and they're a drag pack, right?
I think they're live, honestly. I mean, I just ride around and, drinking.
She doesn't know.
Horse is like, we'll go wherever everybody else's horse goes.
Just
and
follow them.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's the easy part of hunting. But that's good. So yeah, hunter paces.
Nikki has 4 or 5 flasks, not just one. They're just hidden everywhere.
Yeah. One in each boot. What am I saying?
If you hunt live, then it does tend to be a little slower. I'll probably get flamed for this, but it's not as fast and furious for as long as drag hunting can be. So my point is that riding a hunter pace it's just more relaxed and it's more. It can't be more fun.
Keep digging, Helena. Just keep digging.
I know. I love them both. I'm glad you're hunting. That's good. That's good to know. And having a dressage seat is really important for when you're out hunting. I don't know if you've realized this or not, but I remember a couple of times I was out there and, I'm just sitting deep in the saddle and I'm leg yielding left and right and, trying to collect my horse and do all these things. I'm like, wow, thank God I have this dressage foundation because I'd be just a mess out here.
Oh, even for her, even like the turn on the hindquarters, the stuff that you get in a tight spot and just the calmness I think dressage has brought to my horse that, she doesn't really get rattled by much, which is amazing because she's an off-the-track thoroughbred mare. So she should be rattled by everything, but it really has helped her kind of get collected and calm and communicate with me when she knows, something, we have to turn around or we have to go this fast this way. And, she's not like bugging out that, this is a change in that course.
Yeah.
Now, were they really receptive? You started because you heard Helena talking about it, and then you went there. I assume you just went over or talked to somebody over there. Were they really receptive to having new members?
They really were. Well, what happened was it was always on my bucket list. I'm like, I really, really want to do fox hunting, it's on my horsey bucket list. And then I heard your Horse Radio Network chasing the fox, and I'm like, oh, that sounds so much fun. I'm like, I'm going to contact them, see if they can give me any leeway. And then you guys contacted Monmouth County Hunt, who contacted me to see if I can come out. So it was it was really that, Helena who got me started with fox hunting. And they were. I thought they weren't going to be. I thought it was going to be a secret sorority that's like, very kind of snooty.
A special handshake. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, exactly. The special handshake, the password, I have to kind of haze before I go in.
No, that comes after 5 or 6 years of hunting.
Absolutely. And I was like, I just don't want to make a fool of my horse. And I was like, please just don't make a fool of me. That's all I ask.
Now,
are you in the front field or the back field?
Front field.
Yeah,
actually. So it's a small field. So my horse does not like to go slow. So we were in the back for a little bit. And then she's like, no, this is not working for me.
How is what's the country like there? I mean, being down in South Jersey, I would imagine that it's a little bit flat. You're probably riding through a lot of farm territory. Is that true, or am I mistaken?
No, actually both. It's we do have some hills. We do have some forests, so it is kind of there's some uphills and a lot of tight turns into when you go into the forest area. But then there's also some flat farms, so we get a mixture of both.
Cool. Very cool. Which is nice when you're in those tight spaces. It's nice to have the Dressage Foundation. You got to kind of talk to your horse in very quick, very tiny little maneuverable ways.
I got to tell you, this makes my day, Nikki, because one of the reasons Helena and I started Horse Radio Network was to introduce people to new things so that they would branch out and they wouldn't just stay in a rut, They just wouldn't stay in the bubble of dressage and never get out of it. And every day now we're hearing from listeners like yourself who have tried something new because they heard it on the shows. That's what this is all about. So.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you guys make my day. I turn on the radio. I'm in my car a lot because I drive a lot. My work is farther from my house, and so is my barn. And, it's nice to be able to feel like there's other people who are like you out there, because my horse is not a horse husband. He's like, he didn't do anything with horses until he met me. And it's like a lot of my friends, they are like, you always posting horses on your Facebook page. I'm like, yeah, that's what I do.
That's right.
So it's nice to have other people out there. And I mean, what's funny too is sometimes on the radio network, I'll hear something and be like, that sounds exciting, like the Mongold Derby. And then afterwards, I'm like, oh, now I can scratch that one. I'll find one.
Yeah.
Hey,
sometimes we get a little ahead of ourselves.
He's got to listen to the new Horse Husband episode we're doing on Horses in the Morning. You have to make him listen to that.
I will. Oh, my God. No, because he'll call in and then there'll be a wrap. He'll be like, oh, let me tell you. That's what he was.
How long you been married?
I've been married 3 years.
Oh, he's got time. You can whip him into shape yet. You got plenty of time. He's not beaten down yet.
How about persuade him? Let's be a little
No,
less
see, he still has some ego left. That'll go away soon. Another 2 or 3 years.
God.
He'll just be whipped and beaten. He'll be fine.
Sounds good.
If you can get him past that 5-year mark where you're beating them down to the point where they don't care anymore, you're good. So,
and
what?
Doing horse husbands everywhere a disservice.
No, it's pretty much
honestly,
true.
Nikki, you cannot let him go on. But I don't know how he has his own network.
I'm writing this article now for horse.
Said it was okay for Glenn to just get on the air and start chatting away about whatever comes to his mind. I don't know. That was probably me, and it's probably me and your wife.
It's your fault.
What were we thinking?
So I'm writing this article for horsehubby.com on the phases of horse husbandry. And the different phases that we go through as horse husbands over time.
That doesn't sound
I know
right.
It doesn't sound right, does it? But it's funny. So it's the things we go through through time. So you can look for that article coming up because he's only in phase.
Absolutely.
He's in phase 1. He's not even into
he's
phase.
A newbie.
Yeah, he's in phase 1. He's got a lot of phases to go through yet.
And the poor guy has to watch dressage. And I mean, I'm a dressage rider,
God
but it is so
him.
boring to watch. I'm like, wasn't that fascinating? Wasn't that great? And he's like, yeah, sure it was. I definitely see it. I'm like, yeah, okay.
Well, I
know you love me.
I will. He's got to listen to the next episode of Horse Husbands coming up because we recorded it already, and I will tell you that there are instructions on there of what to do and not to do when you're videotaping your wife. So, so he's got to listen to the next one. There's actually helpful hints in there.
Absolutely, I'll make him listen.
Oh yeah.
Only on Horse Radio could that comment go by. Could be okay.
So Nikki, now what do you do to pay for all these horses things?
What do I do? That's a good question. I'm actually a therapist for an inpatient facility for adolescents ages 13 through 18 who have the dual diagnosis issues. So they'll have drug abuse and then they'll also have mental health.
Wow,
so
that's
I work
a tough
with
job.
it's kind of like Jerry Springer meets intervention every day. So that's what I do.
Wow,
I've never heard it described like that before.
Where do you get the emotional fortitude to get through each week?
My horses, I say to people, my horses are my therapists. I wish I could do equine psychotherapy. It's usually, that's going to be my main goal down the line because I believe horses can heal people and do heal people. And my horses that I ride are my therapist. And, if I didn't have them, I don't know if I would be as sane as I am. But, yeah, it's just, knowing that I do impact lives every day. These kids, come from broken homes or have had trauma that's so severe or being pulled off the street out of the gutter and, this is their next chance. This is their last chance. It's hard. It's very emotionally tolling when I get home, but I'm lucky I have the support of both my horse family and TV and listening to stuff like this, like the podcast and having outlets and stuff like that.
Well, I have a niece that does the same thing actually in Philadelphia, outside of Philadelphia, and she works with teens like you do on an inpatient facility. So,
Right, that's what we do.
yep,
Mhm.
they're there for I think 30 days is the typical length of time. But she was telling me some of the stories, and it's some of them are heartbreaking, very heartbreaking.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. It's very heartbreaking. It's mostly heartbreaking because most of them have families that are not supportive. They're in our facility usually for about 6 months. We've had some for about a year. Some have no, family. So it is. It is. I see stuff on the news and people are shocked, and I've heard stories that will spin people's heads off, and these are real people. But that's what I do for a living.
Well, I got to ask you about one other thing before we have to go, and that's something that we have in common is the love of a certain pooch. We both love greyhounds. You have how many?
I have 2. I have Thomas and Tori.
Thomas and Tori. And you adopted from?
I adopted from Greyhound Angels in New
Okay.
Jersey. It's Millville now, but they were out at Falcon.
And where did the dogs come from?
I believe Thomas came from Kansas and Tori came from West Virginia. They look alike, but they're both totally different litters.
Oh, gotcha. And what do you like about the greyhound?
I like about the Greyhounds is that they're just loving. I mean, my one dog is Thomas. He'll lay on you and hug you and love you, and they're just laid back and they're chill dogs, and they appreciate that you rescue them. They really do. Like every day, they're great. You can tell they're grateful. They really do love their owners and really feel they're very loyal dogs, even though they can have their moments of like. It's like, what are you doing? They're like ADD, ADHD kids. Like all of a sudden, it's like something shiny and they're gone. It's like I don't get it, but they're just really cooled off and never thought I would own them. We ended up trying to adopt the one, which was Thomas, and I said to my husband, I was like, I want to see Tori, so I'll her on the website, and so we brought her over. I'm like, I can't leave without her, please. I need both of them, and then we end up with both.
So yeah, we have the same thing. Matter of fact, Gloria is right here under my feet. She sleeps under my desk all day long. She looks at this as going to work, and on Saturdays and Sundays, she is so upset that I'm not going in the office. She goes and backs and forth and paces and looks at the office door and just is so upset that I'm not going to work.
Oh man,
that's because we're hanging out together. But I like them too. Do yours bark? We've never had. This is our third one, and we've never had one that barked.
Well, here's the thing. We were victims of Sandy, Superstorm Sandy, and we had to go move my parents, actually right after our wedding. And so we had to move as honeymooners back with my parents. And my parents have 2 golden doodles. Well, they bark. So all of a sudden, my dogs learned how to bark. So I do have barking greyhounds. They rue and they bark. But they don't bark when somebody's at the door, which would be great. I have to bark for them. Because, like, somebody's at the door, how about we do this now? Like, so people think that, there's dogs and I'm guarded or something, be a dog. But they don't. But they do bark.
I got to tell everybody, this is a commercial right now for greyhounds. They are the best pet, and they're great farm dogs, too. They're just the best pet. Now, you do have to have a place where once or twice a week you can take them out and let them run like crazy.
Absolutely.
Yeah. You do have to have that. Like, I take her out every day. Now, she doesn't run every day. About twice a week, she'll, like yours, she'll do the laps and carry on. In 5 minutes, they're done, and they went back in the house.
Yeah, pretty much. And then out for 9
now.
hours. Yeah, they're completely out for 9 hours after 5 minutes of energy during the morning, and then they're good. And I take my dogs to the indoor by my farm, and they run around. They have a great time. They're great around the horses. They're great around the kids. I bring them to work sometimes and let the kids, see them and pat them and walk them and be around, loving animals, loving creatures.
Well, good for you, and thank you for doing that for a couple of greyhounds.
Oh, no problem. I love them.
Yeah, we would never own any other dog, that's for sure.
Now, I see your dog, Gloria, and I'm like, oh, my God, looks just like my dog, Tori.
He does, or she does. She does look like Tori. You're right. You're right, she does. Well, she's sound asleep right now. She doesn't even know we're talking about her.
No, that means she's working hard. That's what greyhounds do. They work hard sleeping.
They say they're the 35-mile-an-hour couch potatoes, and that's right. They are.
Absolutely.
That's right. Well, Nikki, it's been so nice having you on. We appreciate you. Real quick, I got to ask you, you got to repeat what you told us before we started recording about about your husband and the friends comment.
The husband, that my husband, I tell him, like, my friends from Horse Radio Network, my friends like Glenn, Alina, Jamie, and I'm like, they're my friends. He's like, no, they're really not your friends. But on the radio, I'm like, no, they are my friends. I swear they are.
We are. We're your friends.
We are.
Yeah.
We're always in the market for new friends.
That's right.
Especially horse friends that are, semi-sane.
That's right. And cool. And also, thank you so much for being an auditor. We really appreciate your support. If you're not, if the listeners aren't familiar with the auditor program, just hop on over to stablescoop.com. There's a big banner in the middle of the page. For as little as $1 a month, you too can, just show appreciation for the shows that we do. Half of that money that we get every month goes to our hosts. They certainly don't make much doing this show, so any little bit extra they get is appreciated. Right, Helena?
Absolutely. Oh, good heavens. Oh, yeah.
So we appreciate you doing that. Thank you so much for that too, Nikki.
Oh, not a problem. It's my pleasure being an auditor.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's
Thank
good talking to you both.
All right.
You
Take care.
too. Have a great weekend.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
This week's EasySignsOnline.com spotlight product is their New England Style Farm Signs, their most popular line of signs. New England Style Farm Signs are very durable and designed for long-term outdoor use with no maintenance required, no wood to rot, and no paint to peel. They will outlast the old style painted wood signs by many, many years. They are available in many sizes, shapes, and styles, which makes them the perfect sign for any farm or business. Go online today and go through the EasySignsOnline.com easy step-by-step ordering process to see all the prices and options available. They also offer free, no-obligation sign proofs on all New England-style signs, and you get free shipping as well on all New England-style signs. So replace your old worn-out sign and make a great first impression with a new farm sign from EasySignsOnline.com. And the holidays are right around the corner, so it's a terrific gift idea. I can't think of a better one. Visit EasySignsOnline.com. Well, this Tack and Habit segment is sponsored by my wonderful co-host, Helena, and her company, Sparkle and Boom. You guys did such a great job with I tried. I am a terrible graphic artist, but, I get by when I have to because, I'm free. So, we're doing this radiothon. It's 12 hours live. It's a big deal. It's the first time that this has ever been done in the horse world. It's a party. It's going to be a Christmas party on November 30th. And Helene is involved and all the other hosts for the Horse Radio Network. We have a terrific sponsors involved, including the title sponsor, Weatherbeater. And I wanted to put out some really nice graphics for it. And who did I go to? My buddy Helena. And you just nailed it. First time.
I love that.
Well, you
nailed
know
it.
me so well, I think that you get to know your clients. And I think that's the difference of what makes a good person in media, whether it's graphic arts or social media or whatever. It's a person who knows their client. You know me so well. You know what I like, don't like. You know what Jennifer likes and doesn't like. That's where the real decision is. And the graphic just nailed it. And I can't wait now for people to start seeing all the promotion going out about the Radiothon.
Well, thank you very much. I'm glad that you liked it. It's these are labors of love, and when there's something that's so a part of who you are, like the horse industry, it's very easy to create a message. So I'm helping Horse Radio Network create a message. You are really excited about the Radiothon, like really excited about it.
I'm excited to torture myself for 12 hours.
And me and all your other hosts and our listeners.
And poor Jennifer.
But it really is. It's a big thing. It's the first time we're doing something. And every time we take a leap into new territory, we do get a little jazzed up about it. So there's a lot of energy in the message. And that just comes out in what you design. I can sit down at 5 o'clock in the morning or 11 o'clock at night and channel that energy into something creative. And, I send it off to you and you're like, no change is necessary. This is perfect. And I think that's just because it does come from a very authentic place. Now, as a business owner, I don't work for myself because, I want to dilly-dally all day long. I work for myself because I really want to help other small business owners. I'm one myself, and we get so wrapped up in the things that we have to do, yet we know we need to market our businesses. We know we need to be just a little bit more professional than the homegrown stuff we've put out there. But who has the time and who has the budget, to pay a marketing person to do it for them? So that's where I come in. And I really understand the small business owner's limited budget. And I take the time to understand what they're passionate about. So their passion comes to me, through a couple of nice conversations. And then I kind of channel that into something visually that helps them state their message about the business, whether that's their creative, their competitive advantage in the marketplace, what makes them good at what they do, and then to do it in a polished way. So it's a ton of fun. I love it. I'm certainly not getting rich at it, but if you have to work, I've said this for the longest time, if you have to work on something for 8, 10, 12 hours a day, you better enjoy it. And so I really love what I do. And I'm really glad that you like the Radiothon stuff.
Yeah, well, I did. And you're going to get to start seeing it. We're going to start promoting the Radiothon pretty heavily here. And we hope that you tune in that day. We hope that you join in, because remember, the Horse Radio Network listeners, the listeners of Stable Scoop, we're going to ask you to help us out with your own version of creative. But in the meantime, contact Helena if you have a business of any kind. It doesn't have to be just Horse World. You might have a real job that needs some artwork done. They need some social media done. They need a website built. Whatever it is in that space, just contact Helena. Go to sparkleandboom.com. You won't regret it. Who doesn't want a feisty Italian woman fighting on their side?
Oh, can we say energetic? Feisty just is. I know I'm feisty, but I need to rebrand myself a little bit. A little more sparkle, a little less boom.
Today's product, speaking of Helena, got together with my wife when we were at ADA and did an interview about something that we were, when you see something that's not horsey at a horsey trade show, but could be used for something horsey, it stands out like a sore thumb if it isn't tack or clothing or whatever. And this one stood out, and you guys got to round him up, and let's take a listen to what you found at the last ADA.
Okay, so I'm going to say this as if this is the first time I'm saying this all weekend long. We have a new product that I'm super excited about because it's really cool. We have Kurt with us, and he is going to talk to us about a company called Empower that makes a product line called Lucy. And Lucy has a couple of kids.
It's a whole family.
And
literally.
Essentially they are solar-powered lights.
Inflatable lanterns, that is correct.
Lanterns.
They come deflated, packaged very small, and you basically pull the nozzles out, you open them up.
Think of a clear beach ball, except it's a cylinder shape.
Correct, with 10 LED lights on it that throw out 60 lumens of light. And the one you're holding right there, that's Lucy Original. Original will cast a light
Wow,
of...
it's very bright. I just put it under our table so we could really see.
It's
very bright.
It will throw 10 square feet of light.
Okay,
out.
so you can read a book by it.
Absolutely. Good for barbecues, good for backyard, great for horse trailers. Your power goes out and you're stuck in a spot that you don't have power. It is completely shatterproof, waterproof.
Horseproof.
Good point. It's not going to break and leave shards of glass or plastic
totally
around.
Shatterproof,
Great
absolutely.
For in your living quarters horse trailer.
It's a great source of reusable energy. So 1 hour charge gives you 1 hour of power. And up
6
to
hours of charge?
It'll go 6 hours
For 6
of
hours
your
of power.
power.
It holds
correct.
up to 6 hours.
Yeah,
of
it'll
charge.
hold
Okay.
actually all to 12 if you're not on full power. You can go, there's different settings there. So if I'm at a minimal...
It's like a dimmer
like a
switch.
nightlight setting or something.
Right, it'll come down to like 8 hours or so.
Another
But
great
still.
use
I know.
in your luggage, a nightlight for
Great.
your hotel room.
Nightlight.
So Original throws the most light probably. Then we have Lux, which is just this one right here, which is a little softer light, a little easier on the eyes.
that's squished
the
down.
same cylinder
That's
size, the same
So
size
you
as
can
that.
safely
Correct.
turn them on when they're deflated?
Oh yeah, sure, absolutely. That's another great...
Again, great for travel. Don't even have to blow it up.
Well, and if you were like to have a party or something in your backyard, you don't have to have candles either. You don't have to
Right.
worry about possibly burning your house down.
Liking that.
That's a good thing. So we do, Lux is kind of the softer light, and then this is called EMRG. This is a new product that just came out. And basically this works more like a flashlight. It directs the light a little bit more. And then
This is
also
my favorite part.
has a strobe capability, which goes in SOS. So it strobes for an emergency situation. which is awesome. You leave them in your car, you leave them in your boat, something. I like it personally in my car. Like if I had a flat tire or something like that, I could actually put it on the side of the road. Not only could I, be letting somebody know I'm in need of help, but also, that I'm actually there on the roadside.
You can either strobe it or you can just put it on regular light.
Correct, right. It'll go flat.
Or
stay that way.
if you're out partying with your friends in town, you can put it on the red strobe and freak out the guy in front of you.
You can do that.
I don't
put it on the dashboard.
You can do that with your...
I don't have friends. I don't live in town.
And then Aura is kind of the fun one that strobes in multiple colors. So it will go through a cycle of lights, greens, reds, blues, yellows, and so forth, and then we'll actually continue to funnel through those
That
colors.
one's kind of fun for training. If you're doing desensitization work with your horses, you can use those for training. The nice part is, A, you don't have to plug it in.
Yeah.
B, it's shatterproof. So if your horse freaks out and steps on it, so what?
Yep, you replace them.
You don't have to put a extension cord anywhere.
Nope.
So for desensitization, or if you're doing the obstacle courses, which so many people like to do now, it's useful for that too. Just turn it upside down so that the very discreet solar panels are up.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and waterproof. So if you were actually out in the elements
rain,
too,
no big deal.
you can put them in a pool. You could
put them in a pool.
Yeah,
I would get a pool just so I could put these in my pool and have a party with them.
It's just a completely sustainable, reusable, functional source of energy.
Yeah, they're fun and they're simple. Yeah. And what are the price points on these?
Okay, so starting with EMRG, retails at $10. Outdoor will be at $15. Lux right here will be at $20, and Lucy Aura will be at $25.
And the Lucy Aura is the one that's got the super cool strobing frosted.
Correct. Yeah, that's a good party one. That's a good fun backyard one.
That's like the bionic one. That can leap a building in a single bound.
Yeah, and exactly. Basically, the big point of this brand too is that we try and give back too. So there's a whole element to this where they've donated thousands of these to villages in Africa so kids can read by them, because they don't have necessarily infrastructure or sustainable energy.
No electricity going to your home.
Tons of sunlight,
but
they don't necessarily have power.
But they have tons of sunlight, therefore they have tons of power now.
Right,
and you really don't need to teach somebody how to use this.
No, they put it out. They they power them during the daylight, and at night they can come home and read books and so forth. So our esteemed owner, Scott Kling, is a person who truly believes in giving back to the world and is making the world a better place as a result of his product.
So where's a great place, an easy place for listeners to find these products?
We are in 600 retailers around the United States, and I can actually give you a quick little snapshot, if I can dig it up, of some of the retailers that we currently do business with. And you can go... Amazon.com, Big Five, Camping World, Moose Jaw, Target, Nordstrom's, Sports Chalet.
Mega retailers everywhere.
Yeah,
and they're
Eastern Mountain Sports.
What should they ask for, look for?
You ask for Empowered, but a lot of times people will call it Lucy. They think they're Lucy Lanterns, which is kind of the baby of the thing, and that's fine too.
Lucy Lanterns.
Yeah, but Empowered is the brand, so they should ask for Empowered. But any of those great retailers, Lowe's, Ace Hardware.
And if you forget all these names, just call it the blow-up solar-powered lamp.
Inflatable solar-powered lanterns.
Oh, and you get the one that's frosted for the romantic nights in the tent.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, and we'll actually be doing seasonal versions of that as well for Halloween with Spooky, which is just coming out. So there'll be
fun.
Skeletons and so forth, and then there'll also be a Christmas version of it where we'll have... ornaments and snowflakes and so forth on it.
It's a blow up solar snow globe. Oh my god!
Pretty much, yeah. And as long as there's sun,
I do think though every horse trailer, living quarters or otherwise, every pickup truck that makes long road trip needs to have the emergency one. It's just so smart.
Yeah, it's a lot of travel, and it's like I said, I leave one in my car and I leave one in my boat as well.
You said you put it on your dashboard.
Yeah, I got some
charged.
charging on my dashboard as we speak.
Good idea.
Right now.
Yeah, great idea. Thank you so much, Kurt.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Well, that would make a great Christmas gift, Helena, this product, the Lucy lamps.
I would like several of them.
Yeah, I know. I could think about different places I could use them, actually. That would be kind of cool. And I love that they're solar-powered, too. That's really neat.
I want to put them around my patio. I have a closet. I call it my tack closet in my barn. And it doesn't have a light, but it's because it's technically not a closet, but it is. It's under the stairs. I could use one of those.
I remember your tack closet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're
right. It's very dark right there.
Yeah. We could also use them like when we go down to the beach,
I love the idea of floating them in a pool for a party. That's a great idea.
I would build a pool just so I could put these lamps in it.
Oh, that's it. You can find them at mpowerd.com. Or just look for inflatable solar lamps. They're also on Amazon and every place else, so you'll find them there. Well, thank you, everybody, for joining us this week. We really appreciate it. Don't forget, you can find Helena and all her great artistic abilities, mental and physical, at sparkleandboom.com. You can find our show notes at stablescoop.com, and the best way to listen to our show is still our own app. Just go to the Horse Radio Network in the App Store, iOS or Android. It's free, it's easy, it's simple to download, and it's simple to listen to the shows through the app. We want to thank also our sponsors. We have some terrific sponsors this week: Total Saddle Fit, Easy Signs Online, and our auditors, listeners like you. Well, let's see here. What else? I just got a text. We'll end with this. I have my own little family down here now of Florida podcasters. Mm-hmm. And the head of that family's name is Chris, and he's the head of the Florida Podcasters Association. He is a super nice guy with his wife, Katie. We had Katie on the show, remember?
Katie was pretty
ago.
awesome. Yeah.
Remember, I told you Katie was pregnant?
Yes.
Well, I just got a text right this second that says you are about to become an uncle. So
wonderful. Congratulations. And she's
Katie.
Having a girl.
Yeah, she's having a little girl. That's right.
Yep.
So I know they were very excited, and Chris has no idea how his life is about to change. I think Katie had an idea. Chris has no idea. But they'll be good parents, and congratulations to them. She's super sweet, and he is too. So.
Oh, wonderful.
That's it for this week, Helena.
That was plenty, but there will be more next week. Until then, happy scooping.